Well, once again, welcome to DJ Suketu Unplugged. In the last 4 episodes, you had seen that we had done a track on Ableton Live 9 and the track was called Getting Deep. We separated the track in the groove section, the bass, the melody and the effects. 4 episodes and we have a full track ready. Well, what we're going to do today is, in this episode, that we're going to be looking at a new software. It's called Logic Pro X. As we mentioned before, the Logic Pro X is a very nice software, but it's just got one small hitch. I actually even won't say it's a hitch, but it only works on a Mac. So if you don't have a Mac, Ableton Live is a software that you should have and you should work on. If you have a Mac, get yourself Logic Pro X. Trust me, this software is fantastic. So let's take a look at this track. It's called Something About This Beat. Well, we took this name because we put a vocal sample in it called Something About This Beat. Is very hypnotic. It's a deep electronic dance music track. You must be wondering why I keep on doing deep house track and tech house tracks and not something more than that. Well, deep house tracks are normally, very simple. It's got minimal sounds. So when we are beginning something, you just don't want to, let's say for example, you're driving a car. When you're learning, you would prefer learning on a Maruti 800 or something like that. You just don't want to sit in a Mercedes or a, Aston Martin and start speeding it up. You might not know what's happening and bam, there you go, accident. So let's begin with a deep house track, something simple, minimum number of grooves, bass line, melodies, etc. And then once you're good with that, we'll start taking tracks which are much better. We'll go into big room house, we'll take a track on trap genre, we'll do something with dubstep, and we'll even do something with hip hop and R&B. So let's listen to Something About This Beat on Logic Pro X and start the episode. So now you know why we named this track Something About This Beat. That's right, we have a vocal sample in it which says there's something about this beat that's hypnotic. And trust me, when you start making the beat and the groove and the song, you're going to know it's very hypnotic. Well, as before, what we're going to be doing is first taking only the groove section for Something About This Beat. Only difference right now, what you'll see is that in Ableton Live, we had only used samples to make the grooves, the melody, everything. We did not use any VSTIs or anything like that. Well, this time, like we said, we're going to go slightly higher, one step better. We're going to start using VSTIs. So what is VSTI? Well, VSTI basically stands for Virtual Synth Technology Instrument. It basically means that whatever instrument you want, anything at all, it could be the drums, violins, pads, hi-hats, percussions, everything, it can be generated from a VSTI. Okay, which is given to you in Logic Pro X, and you can play it on your keyboard, either if you have a MIDI keyboard or if you have a virtual keyboard on your software itself. So let's start looking at the groove. The first thing, the kick. As mentioned before, being a DJ and a producer of dance music, for me the kick, the groove and the bass line becomes the most important. So let's listen to the kick that we've selected. Well, there's one more thing which I need to mention over here. All the VSTIs which I've used in this track in Logic Pro X are all built-in VSTIs. I have not used anything third party. So if you have Logic Pro X, you will have all these sounds that I have used over here. Well, to make the kick, what I have used is the EXS24. This is one of the best VSTIs that Logic Pro X has given us. I really love this one. Well, I open up my EXS24. Go to the menu section and open up this drum kit called Roland TR-808 kit. I go to the kick on that and all I do is open up my piano roll over here, and on the piano roll I just put in the notes on the C1 key which gives me the kick. So I put it on every beat. The tempo is 125 BPM and this is what the kick sounds like. That's right. So what you do is put the kick on every first beat and you get your kick. The Roland TR-808. Well, this is what a kick sounds like. What I've done to this kick is I played the kick on my piano roll with the EXS24 and I added an EQ and a compression to it. Well, you must be wondering, what does EQ and compression mean? EQ is basically nothing but the equalization to the kick. What we are going to be doing is, in the future episodes, once we are done making this track and you've made one track on Ableton Live and one track on Logic Pro, we'll take one separate episode just to tell you how do you EQ your kick, how do you EQ your hi-hats, and etc, etc. And of course, we'll get into compression as well. So right now, this is the kick with the EQ and the compression. Part 2 of the groove section, just like what we did before. After we have the kick going, we go in for the clap. That's right, we even did that in Getting Deep, if you remember, and if you want, you can go back and check it out as well, then the groove section of Getting Deep. So even in this track, after the kick is done, we're going to be getting the clap on. So let's listen to the clap. Once again, in my clap, I've done exactly what I did in Ableton Live for my clap. I put an EQ, increase the high frequencies slightly, remove the low frequencies because I don't need them. All I need is just the mids and the highs, because my low frequencies in the groove have already been taken care of by the kick. So just the EQing, and then I put a slight reverb to it just to give it a little bit of a wider and a brighter feel. So this is how the clap sounds. Well, like we did in Getting Deep, again this time we're going to be playing the kick and the clap together. So let's see how the kick and the clap sound together. Here we go. So we are here with the clap and the kick.